what you think, what you treasure up in your heart becomes who you are. Proverbs 23:7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with you. Meaning, okay, your intent, then you think about these things, and you can have this going on, that going on. Like, yeah, I'm cool with you. But in the mind, you're like, nah, bro, I'm lining you up because I gotta get this money. And once again, family, it's spiritual, mental, physical. They all tie into each other, and it always starts with your intent, your will.
You remember back in the day that when we were experiencing dis-ease in our body, we were giving something to drink, we were giving something to eat.
Calm.
And it was from somebody that we trusted.
They had the authority that we were supposed to trust.
Bro, it's sickening now where the natural state of receiving health isn't the same as it was before, which was eating and drinking or even hearing. Now it's like, let's stick something inside of you.
Say that all our plagues come from what we consume. Either that's with your eyes, your ears, or your mouth. That's where all your plagues come from. What you consume, what you allow in. So shouldn't the way of fighting off these plagues be by exfoliating or detoxifying, and also limiting or completely abolishing to reconsume these things, not to put more in you. It's supposed to do a complete warfare on everything that's there. I mean, let's take chemotherapy. That is a warfare on good and bad cells. Complete chaos. That's blue on blue. You don't fight a war and kill the people that's helping you fight the war and think you're going to win. That is what they've told us. That's the best way to fight this disease. We see that a lot of the foods, a lot of things we touch have these things called carcinogens.
Sheesh, pointed
that
out.
Weren't here naturally, but they're man-made products. And we're seeing that us doing all this manipulation to these elements that should not have been manipulated on this level or to this degree, or are not being disposed properly, is causing ailments.
Hey, this is a big one right here. I'm gonna point out the fact of certain people eating bacon. As he thinketh in his heart, so is he. And the irony of that man getting a pig heart, and it's like, what? Majority of people think it's okay just to eat bacon. Most people think it's okay to drink heavy liquor, and just
it's the lack of knowledge, because if they would have known, if they actually would consider, well, what does a pig eat? What is their purpose? And to say, all right, let's just break this down real quick, fam, for anyone who still eats pork and whatnot. I mean, you do as you see fit, right? But we're going to give you some things to consider, right? Think about it like this: a pig eats slop. It eats all different types of corrupted matter and stores it in itself. It does not have the ability to detoxify or to break these things down to a level and package these things out. This is why it has like pus and all these other things, because that's what that animal does. So you're eating something that eats things that decay, right? Then they packages this stuff in its flesh. So in the muscles, in the tissues, in the heart, and all these other places, because that's how that animal builds up itself, right? And it's good for that animal. That's what they're designed to do. But now you take those things. Well, can we eat what a pig eats? In the aspect of what type of food that pig is eating, saying that it breaks these things down, and it does have such a terrible job of doing it that it transfers, and you're practically eating the same thing the pig ate. Man, I'd much rather be able to take the nutrients from an animal that was able to eat grass, like a cow. The grass got its energy from the sun and the soil, versus a pig who ate mushrooms, and most mushrooms grow from fecal matter. Most mushrooms that you find in America. How a pig could eat a dead body. Cows don't be doing that. And that's just something to consider. See, now that you have this knowledge, or you want to apply it. See, the crazy thing is, they get the intent. They're like, I'm going to be healthy. Then they gain the knowledge, but then they get slack, and they slack off with the physical. They stop themselves from doing it because they say this is too much. This is too burdensome. Because then their spirit gets weak. That's why it says in the scriptures, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. To fortify us, we're told to girdle ourselves up with the truth. It means we got to fortify ourselves with, no, this is the facts, so we move as if that. Period. Point blank, period. Facts over feelings. Create things in a balanced manner so you can keep doing it. So, for anyone who eats pork, you know what I mean? I don't eat that. Scripture tells us not to eat that, but you do what you see fit. If you think that's healthy, then that's all I gotta say.
Throughout the scriptures, what was he asking for? Let me get the unblemished animals. Let me get the first fruits. Let me get those animals that wasn't touched yet.
Come on.
Let me get those fresh and clean animals so that when I put it inside me, the mentality even of eating something that you know, like you pointed out, eats decaying, possibly decaying other animals, possibly decaying humans. You have people who operate in that spirit and that mentality. Oh, I'm going to just eat anything. As we've seen throughout YouTube, where people will engage in these mukbangs. And it's like, what is the purpose even behind you eating now? And it is really going into playing, okay, what's the health behind your mentality when you're thinking about eating and it bringing forth your body the fortitude to preserve itself, and not just for consumption for body to feel good, but for spirit to operate within body to fulfill a purpose. What purpose is it if you're not able to perform the task that the Most High has put on your heart to do?
So this gets to a point that what I spoke about before is, once you have this knowledge, what you want to do with it. Because when you know better, you're supposed to do better. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and to do it not, to him it is a sin. Seriously, we learn these things and be like, oh, you know what? I'm not really supposed to be drinking soda. Maybe I could do seltzer water, or maybe I could do this alternative, or I could do that alternative, or maybe at least the bare minimum, restrict how much soda I'm consuming. The bare minimum. But every time we see the opportunity to get that, we do it. That you're grieving your own. He's like, I know better, but I'm addicted to my sin, or I'm addicted to me being in a desolate mentality, spiritually decaying myself because my spirit tells me not to do this. My mind tells me not to do this, but I'm going to let my body do it anyway. Something to deeply consider.
Well, Missy, you want to know why pig is considered unclean? There was a parable in the scriptures where demons were casted out and they went unto the pig. Hey, brother, his will is real. Mark chapter 5, verse 11 through 12. Now, there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding. And all the devils besought him, saying, send us into the swine, that we may enter into them. The mentality of a swine, a pig, the spirit of a pig. Do we even question these animals? If you look at them in their natural habitat, they just...
they roll around in mud.
Exactly. What grace do they have that we're like, we should eat that?
They have no sense of self-hygiene, right? They have no sense of any of these. Like, their bodies are not designed to actually take away all the toxins. They consume it all. Do you want to take in toxins? They don't. Like, their body is not designed like how a regular body is, because their body is designed to eat waste. So let's say like this: if an animal or something decays, it's waste, right? The pig's body is literally designed to have that waste be food to them. So you have, that's like a garbage truck coming and says they eat trash. Okay, well, do we want to eat the contents of a garbage truck? No, we don't. And that garbage truck, have you noticed, they're never clean because they're constantly taking in waste. Then people will be like, well, what if I fed my pig grass? Is that what a pig is supposed to consume? Now you're taking the purpose outside of what a pig naturally consumes. You're taking it out of its natural dietary. When you do that to other animals, they get sick. We get sick. We get plagued by diabetes. We get plagued by high cholesterol. We get plagued by all these other things. So why would you do that to another animal? Because of the factor that that animal is designed to do that. But are you designed to take in what that animal is designed to take in and have nutrients? Makes it unclean to you. There's other scavengers that eat other scavenging animals because that's how their body is designed. Humans are not designed to be scavengers. Physical manifestation of your pursuits. Physical is the last portion because your intent already happened. Your mental faculties of getting what your intent is happening. And now you're enacting these things. The way that a lot of us judge whether or not we did something right is how it feels. Do we get joy or depression? Fulfillment or resentment? Used time or wasted time? It's how we measure if we're doing something right or wrong. Say when you do charity, right? You feel like you did something right. It's fulfillment. When you're doing your job, but your job is not taxing, but you actually see that you have a purpose. You're not just out here peddling someone else's dreams. You have joy. You are taking your time, and even that's to rest. But you're not resting all the time because you have a dream, you have a purpose, you're pursuing those things. You feel good. But the opposite side, the latter half is okay. Well, when you're working for someone else and they're stringent, they're tyrannical, you feel depressed. When you see someone doing better because they are pursuing their goals, you have resentment. Or when you are slothful, you waste time. It makes you more depressed. Then you resent yourself, and it's a self-fulfilling loop of depression, but it's also a self-fulfilling loop of joy, depending on which way you manifested these things, which goes all the way back to your intent.